Hello and welcome to 1% Wednesday. I'm Joe Ferraro. I hope you're listening to the podcast every Sunday and, of course, a message every Wednesday, whether we feel like it or not. Today I'm feeling like it with a clean shave and a haircut of sorts. I hope you're doing well. Today I want to ask you a question. What have you changed your mind on recently? Strong opinions, loosely held, is what we talk about. Shane Parrish has written about that, Charlie Munger, some others. What have you changed your mind over in the last 6 months? I have an answer for you. For me, I have done a 180 on the value of, wait for it, poetry. I highly doubt that anyone listening to this right now has poetry as a part of their lives, but I'm going to tell you this month, March, as it comes to a close, I have done a 180 on what I think the value of poetry is in an adult life in 2019. How did this happen? Well, as my guest this week that I get to interview on Friday, Laura Gassner Odding says, you're looking for consonants, alignment in your own life. And in my classroom, I'm one person. I want to be the same person on the podcast. I want to be the same person at home. Find that alignment. We did March Poetry Madness. So my students and I were exposed to 32 poems and poets over the course of March, and we're now down to the Sweet 16. So by tomorrow, my students will have been exposed to all 32 poems. Lines like, I thank whatever gods may be for my unconquerable soul. My head is bloody but unbowed. Still I rise. This place could be beautiful. We could make this place beautiful. That's a handful of lines from the poems of this month. Think about it. If you're able to not read that much because of time constraints, how about a poem a day? And not the classic stuff you heard in 1984 in your classroom. These modern poems or classic poems that weren't killed by a textbook and a boring teacher. Hit me up if you want a poem. I'll get you started with a list that will get you going. I'm not talking about reciting it to your wife, and I'm talking about just chewing on a poem a day or a poem a week, a 20-line poem from someone other than Langston Hughes or Robert Frost. Great poets, don't get me wrong. But how about all these other poets of different backgrounds and cultures and people that are still alive and writing about times in 2019? So I know you didn't come to 1% Better today expecting poetry, but I got to tell you, I've changed my mind on it. So 2 questions. Number 1, what have you changed your mind on recently? And number 2, what will you do this week that exposes you just 1% more to poetry? That's all the time we got today on 1% Wednesday. Great new podcast coming out this Sunday, and I will see you again this time next Wednesday.